FTX, as I mentioned before, was centralized and opaque. And I think we're learning there was something between gross negligence and outright fraud caused by this centralized institution, and probably a person who just was way out of his realm. He did not understand the risks he was taking.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Cathie Wood giving us an update on the collapse of FTX and the damages caused to the crypto market. Cathie outlines what effect FTX's bankruptcy is having on the confidence and credibility in the industry. She'll talk about Sam Bankman-Fried's history of fraudulent behavior and how even she was shocked by this. Cathie believes that despite FTX's internal problems, Bitcoin will actually be stronger because of it. Let's check out this latest interview with Cathie Wood as she talks about what went wrong with FTX and what effect this will have on Bitcoin and the crypto market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
If you look at what happened to Bitcoin and Ether during the fallout from Terra and Luna, from Celsius, from 3AC, from FTX, those networks, those blockchains did not skip a beat in terms of transaction processing. This is very unlike 0809, where banks wouldn't pick up the phone, when clients were trying to reach them. These transparent, decentralized blockchains are the answer to many of the problems that we have had with centralized and more opaque institutions. The further to the right you get here, the more centralized, and status quo would be something like Visa or Amazon, Fedwire, and so forth. I think we'll be moving away from those towards this decentralized, transparent world in the future, and I'm happy to answer questions. Just show you this chart. This is Bitcoin. It's 200-week moving average, and you do have to look at technicals because so many people involved in this world came out of trading backgrounds. And so they look at these technicals. The 200-week moving average of Bitcoin right now this is a little bit out of date, is 24,000. It is at 17,000. At the beginning of this year, most technicians who they know nothing about Bitcoin, they just look at charts, they thought Bitcoin would go to 10 to 12,000. Well, we've just been through a massive test with FTX, and it has held in this $17,000 range. And really, that is down from 70,000. Now, ARK was the first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin in September of 2015 when it was $250. So what this illustrates, $250 to 17,000 is a great return over these 7 years. The right strategy in order to go global and penetrate especially emerging markets and the remittance world, which is a $700 billion world. Tesla has cut most of its exposure in crypto, but Elon Musk is a big believer. So it'll be very interesting to see what his next foray will be. And then Coinbase is a bet on crypto. And as I mentioned in my remarks, our confidence has actually increased. I love it when I see battle tests in markets where the technologies are being questioned. What's going to happen when we stress this market? And these blockchains have not skipped a beat and have increased my confidence that the money revolution and the financial services revolution is alive and well.
According to Cathie, despite the magnitude of the FTX disaster, this should even fuel greater adoption of Bitcoin. With an existing price suppression in the wake of the FTX collapse, many cryptocurrency analysts, however, think that Bitcoin's ability to maintain its present price levels in the face of a significant black swan event is evidence of the resilience of Bitcoin.
And actually take it a little further, we think we're in a recession and that the statistics that have come out recently will be revised. That always happens at turning points. And that, lo and behold, the recession, which many people are saying it will be next year, even though we've had declining GDP this year, many people are worried that margins are going to be hit hard next year. As I mentioned, our margins are already low, and we can suspend, if we want, some investment to keep break-even cash flow. So that's the first thing. Our view is, if we've been in a recession, and it's been because of the supply shock that the economy went through around COVID and the supply chain issues and then the war, then what this is mainly an inventory problem. It's nothing systemic. And so we believe that, as others are saying, oh no, we're going into recession, this is terrible, it's going to last through 2023 and into 24. If this is just an inventory recession, it will be done before you know it. And the markets, and they're not always forward-looking, but I think they've been damaged so much that people are looking at every move the Fed is making, every word the Fed is saying, and will start looking to the other side of that inventory recession. So I think we're pretty close to the end of this bear market.
So what's the worst case scenario you think if we cannot get inflation under control?
Well, the worst case situation is that the Fed keeps tightening. It's hard to believe, though, because the bond market itself is saying stop. It is rare to see a yield curve like this. And just to give you a sense of that, our long-term Treasury yield in the United States is 3.5%. That's the 10-year Treasury. 80 basis points, or 0.8%, on 3.5% is 25% plus. So that's the kind of inversion we're dealing with. We haven't seen 80 basis points, or 0.8%, since the early 80s. But interest rates back then were 15%, so it was only 5%. So I think the impact is going to be much more severe than the Fed expects, and we'll see it pretty quickly. The market is speaking loudly. And I think deflation, it's interesting, any of you who know Jeff Gundlach in the bond market, he too is saying deflation. Elon Musk is saying deflation. More people are talking about deflation right now, and the Fed does not want deflation.
There's a question here, if you think that the United States will head into a stagflation in 2023.
Stagflation means very little growth and high inflation. So it might look like that in the early part of the year, but I do think we'll come out of it much more strongly.
Even though it's been an extended and brutal bear market, Wood says that Bitcoin is in a race against traditional finance and asset classes. She remains one of the biggest cheerleaders for Bitcoin within the institutional space. Cathie has given us a bullish price prediction for Bitcoin's valuation by doubling down on her forecast of $1 million per coin. She is confident of Bitcoin's ability to be at the heart of a revolution in money, given its multiple use cases. What do you think about Cathie Wood's update on the collapse of FTX, the damage it's caused to the crypto market, and where Bitcoin is headed? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.